Major funding for Telehell is provided by Dave's Archives. At Dave's Archives, he personally transfers, archives, and preserves classic commercials from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s and shares them with you. Don't forget about his Friday night live stream on, well, guess when? Go to davesarchives.com. By RetroCirc on YouTube. Do you love retro commercials with an original twist? Join the best mimes this side of the internet for a dose of nostalgia every week at RetroCirc, spelled with a Q at the end. RetroCirc, where nostalgia is the main attraction. By Kier's Nostalgia Corner, a collection of commercial compilations, retro nostalgic things, and other random things that come to mind. Look for her on YouTube at KIERS Nostalgia Corner, and don't forget to check out her live streams early in the week. By Kev the Ripper on YouTube, home to some of the most obscure TV shows you may or may not have heard of, all with original commercials and all not seen since their original air dates. It's Kev the Ripper at KEVRIPZ. And by the very generous benefactors who grace us on our Patreon at patreon.com/telehellpodcast, including Rhonda Farrell, Rick Kalacki Jr., Chris Michaud, Meredith Morrissey, Rabite, Matt Seelig, Spare Parts, and Neil Weinstein. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, today is a big day in the history of the underworld. I said, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, am I talking to a fucking wall here? Oh, for the love of... Hey, shut up! I'm talking! That's better. Now then, today marks a special occasion in the history of the underworld. For today, we are proud to introduce the next generation of torture in the afterlife. One so immersive, so cutting edge, so buzzwordy that it would make anything Elon Musk ever did look like a game of Candyland. A torture device so powerful that the only way that the torture could be implemented is directly through one's subconscious, with visions of insanity so realistic, so traumatizing, those we torture will wish that antidepressants were one of my 4 basic food groups. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to unveil to you the genre match. Excuse me for a moment. Hey! Where the fuck is the damn machine? I was about to unveil it to the entire underworld!
When you finish dismantling that pneumatic tube, replace it with that really long curly slide over there.
Who the fuck are you?
Hi, Agent Brian Swatt, Department of Podcast Efficiency. Here's our card.
Department of Podcast Efficiency. DOPE. Dope? Is this a joke?
Believe me, if it were, I'd be the head MC at the Comedy Store, but we're serious. We're an organization that deals with a certain kind of waste management, one that throws money around as if it was toilet paper.
Do you work for the opposition? Because if you do, they should have cleared any unauthorized visits with me first.
I wish. That's middle management compared to who we answer to. A much higher authority. Anyway, we received an anonymous tip that the underworld was hemorrhaging money due to a series of vanity projects that go nowhere when it could be better spent on much smaller but effective annoyances on the surface world. You know, things like tripping over a tree branch and breaking your leg, dropping a diamond ring down a sewer drain right before proposing, using a gas pump just as it was being declared out of order, things like that.
I'm being punked right now, aren't I? Yeah, I know Ashton Kutcher. He's not due to come down here for another 40 years, but this is clearly his doing, right? I'm being punked, huh? Right?
I assure you there's no punking going on. And besides, it's 2025. We call it pranking, like normal people. But yes, we're here to pretty much strip away anything that would be considered a waste of needless expense, and then play a little shell game with those funds we recoup so that everything can run smoothly once again.
Smoothly? How? This is the afterlife. Pretty much everything down here and up there has been rubber stamped since the dawn of time. And you're just now realizing that something's wrong?
I know, it's a lot to take in all at once. But after a couple of months down here, you won't even notice all the improvements we made.
A couple of months? You do realize who you were talking to, right? The Lord of Darkness, Father of Lies, honorary mayor of Fraser Island, Australia from 1981 to 1985. You can't just barge in here and take over things just because we might have gone a little overboard with money.
Oh, no. For all intents and purposes, you're still in charge here. All we're doing is removing anything that we consider to be a waste of time and space. Like this machine over here. What exactly is the point of it?
Well, if you must know, this is a device called a genre map. We have a test subject in there who's currently under sedation. While he's unconscious, we program some of the worst TV shows of all time, and then, through his subconscious, the test subject critiques the TV show in question with a genre of media that seems like an appropriate match to the show he's reviewing, thus rendering the test subject completely tortured on a mental standpoint.
Uh-huh. And how exactly were you planning on generating any revenue with this machine?
Well, we haven't quite worked out the details just yet, but we figured that if one soul can be tortured this way successfully and intricately, think of all the billions and yet to be trillions of others who can too. I'm certain at least one of them out there has to have some deep pockets.
But aside from pinning the hopes that you give rich people weird dreams, the rough equivalent of eating Chinese food before you go to bed, how exactly does one make money in psychological torture? And why does it have to be in a needlessly complicated and convoluted way like this? Also, why exactly was this machine built in the first place?
Well, the test subject inside the machine, one of our trillions of lost souls, hosts a TV review podcast for us down here. A long story. It kind of started out as a niche novelty thing for us, but then we started getting a little more hands-on in the production process. I wasn't too impressed with the reviews he put in recently, so I gassed him and put him in the machine in an effort to make him suck less at his job.
See? Right there. You don't need an irresponsibly large device just to torture one person. I mean, seriously, didn't you think this through? That's what I thought. Shut it down and dismantle it immediately.
What?
Look, whatever grand design you have in mind, I'm sure it sounded like a good idea on paper. But now, more than ever, everybody's got to tighten their belts a little. It's like Bob Dylan said in that song of his from the late 70s. You may be the devil and he may be the Lord, but you're gonna have to serve somebody.
But we just spent more money than all the gods, monsters, and CEOs of the universe combined. We can't just simply eat the cost just like that. How's that supposed to be efficient, Mr. Efficiency Expert?
Oh, thanks for reminding me. Hey guys, if possible, try to sell the scrap metal to the Boeing Corporation. I hear they could use a few new doors on their airplanes. In the meantime, I think it would be a lot more cost efficient and especially a lot more beneficial on your end to just stick with the whole bad TV review show thing. Save whatever this contraption is for another day. Preferably a lot more streamlined if you can, and just focus your energy on making sure the underworld remains somewhat profitable.
Hey, Chief, we took apart the thing, but what are we gonna do about Mr. Narcolepsy here?
Can't you just shake him awake?
That's not so easy. The sedative gas we had in there is not fit for human consumption. Basically, we combined every possible nerve agent that was ever invented, boiled it down, steamed it to its most basic elements, and put it in an oxygen tank. The only reason it hasn't killed him is because, well, he's already been dead for 6 years.
He's not gonna be like that forever, is he?
As much as I want him to be unconscious on some days, clearly that's not what you guys want. Oh, hey, hold on. Hey, hot stuff. I need you to wake up Fuckstain again.
Does this mean we're not doing the genre mat anymore?
It's out of my hands, Toots. These efficiency experts, whoever they are, want us to go back to business as usual. But first, I need you to snap Fucknut out of it again. Lay it on thick this time. He might be over-sedated.
Well, I'll give it a shot. I've been workshopping something for just such an occasion. So, the cast of Desmond Pfeiffer, Shasta McNasty, and the Brady Bunch all walk into a bar. They're watching the 1980 episode of SNL hosted by Malcolm McDowell, and just as the commie hunting season sketch goes on, fake Jam Brady turns to everybody and says,
I challenge you to sing as badly as the contestants on Superstar USA.
Gary Busey's son from Shasta McNasty then points to fake Jan and says,
I know the perfect song, the theme song to Co-Ed Fever.
Fake Jan is intrigued by the notion and says,
Any other takers?
and then along comes Lloyd Owen, who exclaims,
I'll see your Co-Ed Fever and raise you a tone-deaf version of Elton John's I'm Still Standing.
Both of them agree to the terms, and they start to sing. Everybody in the bar sings their song so poorly that all the drinking glasses shatter all over the bar, culminating in the bar's neon lights and TV fixtures exploding. After they finish, Rob Lowe happens to walk by and says to the patrons,
At least that wasn't as bad a performance as when I sang at the Oscars with Snow White.
That's it? He's still sleeping? I thought you knew how to snap him out of it.
I didn't get to the punchline yet. As Rob Lowe leaves, the owner of the bar is horrified over the damage. And with a full-throated yell, he screams,
Get the hell out of my bar, you clowns!
Fucking clowns. I'll kill the fucking clowns. I'll smear every last piece of their makeup all over the... Oh, man. Oh, how long was I out of it this time? For that matter, why does hell look more so like a demilitarized zone?
It's a long story, but I'll cut to the chase. We need new content from you, and we need it fast, since a lot of time was wasted on your boss's wasteful side projects.
Who's this guy?
It's a long story. I've actually got nothing to do with it for once, so don't ask. And just listen to it, fucknob.
If you could, I'd like to produce 16 of your shows for this year. And because of how much time was wasted on this needless construction, I hope you don't mind doing 3 shows in a row by the end of the month.
The end of this month? I gotta wake up a little more. Just remind me, what day, month, and year is it?
Well, I know time pretty much means nothing here in the afterlife, but according to my smartwatch, today is January 18th, 2025. And if you could put together your first 3 shows by the 26th, 28th, and 30th of this month, that'd be super.
Seriously, who are you?
Don't mind me, I'm just here to make the afterlife a better place, for good and for evil. I'll pop in from time to time to make sure things are running smoothly. In the meantime, you just do you.
Deconstruction's complete, Chief. Where to next?
We've got some riffraff to clear out in the remaining circles of hell. Once we do, we'll go to phase 2. See you around.
Phase 2 of what? Can somebody please explain what's happening here?
Damned if I know. I just got here to get you out of Terminal Dreamland.
So, neither of you know who this guy or what his deal is?
I'll be honest, up until I remembered you'd been zonked out for 6 months, I thought you were the anonymous tipster. Anyway, you got 6 days to come up with 3 shows. Oh, and if possible, come up with a theme for them. Yada, 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 soul vaporized if you don't. Any questions? Good. Back to work, fuckneck.
Yeah, break a leg, honey. And, try not to think too much about all of this. I don't get it either.
What the fuck is happening here? Oh, jeez. Well, I guess we're coming back on January 26th for Season 7, starting with another week of shows in a row. I mean... Can anybody get me some coffee? It's not cool to drop a lot of confusing information on me after a 6-month coma. What was that all about anyway? It's not like I was gonna say no to whatever this was. I mean, I'm pretty much forced to do this for all of eternity, no matter what. I mean, that's kind of the point of being damned for all of eternity, literally. That's part of the job description.
Part of the Boss was played by Darren Marlar.
Roll the credits
Weird
yet.
Darkness
Come on,
can be
I'm not
heard
done
at
ranting.
WeirdDarkness.com or wherever you stream podcasts. The Secretary was played by Joan Bishop. The Teamster was played by Andrew Dick. And introducing Joseph Kent as Agent Brian Swatt. More on him later this season. For now, here are the rest of the credits. Telehell was written, produced, edited, and narrated by me, Justin Hart. All clips used in this program are protected under the Fair Use Doctrine of the U.S. Copyright Act of 1976, and all clips used come courtesy of their respective companies and owners. Some of the music used in this program comes courtesy of YouTube and their audio library service. Telehell is a production of Horton Road and is distributed by Libsyn. We have reason to believe that the world may soon become an actual living hell in the next few months, if not few years from now. Fortunately, our social media feeds are as close as we're going to get to having heaven on Earth. So please, if you have Facebook, Blue Sky, or yes, even X, follow us at Telehell Podcast. Feel free to chip in to future episodes by giving us a couple coins at our Patreon, also at Telehell Podcast. Like, comment, rate, subscribe wherever you hear this show, particularly Apple, Pandora, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and even our YouTube page, all of which will be either at Telehell Podcast or at Telehell. One way or another, you'll get there. And of course, if you heard something that you didn't quite agree with us on, you're more than welcome to lay it into us at our complaint line, telehellpodcast@gmail.com.
Is that so wrong? Is that too much to ask? You know, just keeping me in the loop? I mean, it's crazy. I mean, I realize, yes, okay, I'm not, that high on the totem pole in the grand scheme of things, but, at least, give me a little clue here. I feel useless sometimes. And all of a sudden time passes and then all this new shit happens. Give me a break.
Another great show from Horton Road.